welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Little NBA bit coming at ya. We got a fun one today, or a sad one. If you look at the thumbnail, a sad one. Some sad vibes. We're going to look at some vibes around the league with a few teams. But, little earthquake over there. Not really, just hit the desk. Hope everybody's having a good start to the week. We got a little Wednesday fun day for you. Just a little programming note. As you all know, NBA Bit, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Today, over on the Elite Fantasy Hoops channel, though, at 1 p.m., we're going dog bowl hunting again, all right? We got another dog bowl running over on Underdog Fantasy Sports. So we're going to be drafting for our shot at going to San Diego for the dog bowl live final. Very exciting stuff. So come hang out for a little afternoon if you need to just help you get through the workday. We'll just be drafting over there. So that's going to be on the Elite Fantasy Hoops channel at 1 p.m. Still going to talk to my fellas about getting the next 89 Cavs on the calendar because your boy is balling tonight. We've got another edition of Old Man Hoops coming at you at 8 p.m. We need to find a way to live stream that so you can just see how bad I am in person. But and then Friday, NBA Bit, live before lock, all of that fun stuff. So shout out the boys. Hope everybody's doing well. Today, let's just get into it. Who do we got in the chat? We got Matic Otto here, Sneeps in the chat. We got the Common Man. Happy National Pothole Day. That's not a day I like to celebrate. Unless on National Happy Pothole Day, we be filling potholes. Huh? Why don't we do that? Shout out Janie. That's a callback. Let's dive into some stuff. Let's adjust the assets here so that we can see what we're working with today. Oh, my God. That's not what it's supposed to look like. Embarrassing. We're going to start with the Warriors here because there's just I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to Golden State at all. They played on Monday night. Let's just cover the game on Monday first, right? So they played the Toronto Raptors. Now, heading into this game, the Raptors had, how many wins was it? 8. They had 8 wins, okay? 8 wins. They now have 9 because they beat said Golden State Warriors. Now, Draymond Green didn't play in this game. However, Steph Curry, 9 for 17 from the field. He dropped 26 and 7. That's fine, right? You got 20 from Andrew Wiggins. You got 12 from Dennis Schroeder. Looney dropped 10. Slow-mo off the bench gave him 13. However, just not enough, right? Because Scotty Barnes, 23, 8 and 6. I mean, honestly, you look at this, you're like, how did you lose to this team? Pirtle, 13 and 13, that whatever. Davion Mitchell got some cardio in, played 27 minutes without scoring. Boucher, though, came with 7 field goals made, 3 threes, 18 and 7. Anyways, Toronto gets this win. That's not the point. The point isn't Toronto getting the W. It's more that Golden State got the loss. And I'm sorry, I know we have a lot of We the North fans that are probably like, I got a team. Put some respect on the Raptors, that's not super great. But we're working on it. Golden State losing this game, it stemmed a lot of comments about the future of Golden State. Now, there's been a lot of rumors of will Jimmy Butler go to Golden State? What about Zach LaVine? What about Nikola Vucevic, right? Are Golden State going to make a move to try to beef up the end of the twilight of Steph Curry's prime here in Golden State? Now, Steve Kerr, before the loss, this was during shoot-around. It was before the loss. Steve Kerr came out and said something along the lines, I don't have the quote right in front of me. I would be frustrated if we took some wild swing and traded away 6 or 7 first-round picks or whatever it was to go get something that's not going to make a meaningful difference. I'd be very disappointed because that's going to affect this team long after we're gone. Now, honestly, that is a very measured and smart response. However, it feels weird for him to say that as the team is floundering in the 10-11 seed, and there's just been so much talk about how Steph Curry has just been let down by his teammates. And let me throw a couple of stats at you too from The Athletic. Let me see who did the piece. Sorry, my nose, my mustache is itching my nose so badly right now. But here's some stats over from The Athletic. It was Anthony Slater. This is remember when Dennis Schroeder was when Buddy Hield was cooking? Do you guys remember that at the beginning of the year? And I was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassing. I can't believe I didn't think Buddy was going to be good. Ready? This is from Anthony Slater at The Athletic. Buddy Hield is in a similar slump, making fewer than 30% of his threes this past month. 30% of his threes. Dennis Schroeder, since getting traded, has only made 34% of his shots, 26% of his threes in the 14 games. If you take off that hot start, right? They started out the season 12-3. 12-3, and everybody was like, dude, don't bet against the culture. Since then, since that start, they are 7-17 since November 23rd. That record during that stretch is worse than the Trailblazers, the Jazz, and the Brooklyn Nets, who are going out of their way to lose games. What? It's crazy. So, like, that was kind of alarming to hear Steve say that before the game. But then Steph, after the game, reiterated this, like, kind of said something similar. Like, we understand where we're at. We're not going to, we think we've got enough power around us to make a run, or not a run, but like to compete, but we're not going to do anything wild. Draymond Green said something similar. And it just it's very surprising, I think, to hear, like, I can't think of another time in history when players have said that, except for the beginning of this season when Jakob Poeltl was like, we're not going to try to win games this year. And that one at least makes a little bit more sense because Toronto was going into the season most likely tanking, right? So weird Warriors, weird vibes. And again, they are now one game under 500. And I think this would be more embarrassing for them when you look at the standings to see where they're at. Except when we look, we also see another familiar team over there in the Phoenix Suns, who just dropped a game to the Atlanta Hawks last night. Both of these teams now 4-6 in their last 10, 19-20. Now, they are just a half game out of the play-in game. They're only 2.5 games out of the 6th seed. So it's not like the end all be all Golden State is screwed, but I just like what I don't see is the path forward. Do you know what I'm saying? I think we spend so much time, every podcaster except for maybe me, if you know what I mean, being like, the depth the Golden State Warriors have added: Kyle Anderson, Buddy Hield, D'Anthony, I'm down in ACL, Melton, right? It was a lot of talk about adding that depth, when in reality, they were adding 7th and 8th guys, and they weren't even sure what their starting 5 were. Now, part of this slump is also Jonathan Kuminga missing time because he's hurt, but Kuminga's also just been consistently put in trade rumors since last year, since he didn't get extended, right? And then Podziemski, who, but here's an L that I can eat up, is Podziemski. All this hype going into the second year. Do you remember sometime in like late July, there was a piece that came out that they're like, Brandon Podziemski is going to take 10 3-pointers a game. The fuck he is. I mean, it has been rough stuff for the pod god. And now I don't know where Golden State moves forward from here. They play tonight. I forget who they're playing tonight. I see Super Carl says he needs Buddy to give him 45 SORARE points tonight to get first and limited champ. I don't know. 45. I don't know if 45 is on the docket tonight. Let's see. Golden State plays. Let's see. A lot of games tonight, by the way. Oh, they played 9:30 against Minnesota. Not the ideal matchup for Super Carl. Not the ideal matchup. But this kind of goes back to where Golden State's at right now. Like, I don't think they're going to make – I don't think there's a move out there that makes them considerably better. Now, the West is bunched up over there, right? Like I said, 2.5 games out of the 6th seed. But I think there's just an aggressive teardrop here between these top teams. Like, the OKC – excuse me, like arms, legs, whatever, above the rest. 6.5 game lead. They've only lost 6 times this whole time. Then you got Rockets, Grizzlies, Denver. And Denver legit playing some better basketball now. You can see they've won 4 in a row. They're 8-2 in their last 10. We'll talk a little bit more about them because Jamal Murray was on Flago last night. And I still think, like, I would take the Clippers, Mavs, and Lakers ahead of them, too. Because if you ever got into a playoff series, like, I know Steph's incredible. I know we had that Christmas Day excitement, right? But, I trust the core of LeBron and Anthony Davis than I do of Steph Curry and Draymond Green right now. Even Minnesota, Sacramento, like, I trust all these teams more, except for maybe Phoenix, San Antonio, and Sacramento. So I don't even know if there is a meaningful move that they could make, or even a move around the edges that's going to do it. I don't know. Oh, Wounded Geese said you finished 5th in limited daily for the Paris tickets. Oh, my God. That was so close. Yeah, the Pod God Summer was crazy. Wild stuff, man. Wild stuff for Golden State. It kind of bums me out because, like, again, like we did see on Christmas, Steph is awesome still. I mean, Steph's still putting up great numbers, right? If we look up what Steph is doing this season, and what is this year? I don't know. He's been playing since 2010, 15 years. In 31 games, he's averaging 22, 6, and 5, shooting 44% from the field, 41% from three, 93% from the line. Like, Steph's still doing it. It's not Steph. It's just they've surrounded him with players who are not at that level, or not playing at the level that they need to, or young guys that haven't developed enough, whether they're never going to develop or whether Steve Kerr, like Moses Moody, still can't crack a rotation. What's going on? What is going on? Anyway, so there you go. I wanted to update the Warriors, and let's go to Philly next, because Philly also is just the most bizarre thing. And maybe I included Philly because I was mad that they sat all of their guys last night. So Paul George was probable all day long against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Tyrese Maxey did get a late questionable tag, okay? So the Maxey thing made a little bit more sense, even though he was at shoot around. Paul George was basically like, he's probable Paul, probably going to play. And then, of course, both of them get ruled out. Joel Embiid ruled out again. That was ahead of time. And I just like that. I think they played like 4 games with all of their guys, you know? Sorry about that. They win this game. I'm sorry, they lose this game 118-102. They closed the gap a little bit in the third quarter, but OKC had taken the foot off their gas a little bit. SGA 32-9, J-Dub 24-6-4. On the starting 5, Yabusele, Reggie Jackson. It's 2025, guys. Reggie Jackson. Eric Gordon, Kelly Oubre Jr., and Ricky Council IV, which is a real name. Also, somebody named Pete fucking Nance played 18 minutes. I know I said it like that. That's Larry Nance's bro. But Pete Nance got 18 minutes. Justin Edwards, are we just entering stuff into ChatGPT right now? Adem Bona, Jeff Doughton Jr. That was the rotation last night in this 118-102 loss. They are 38 games into the season, and they have 23 losses already. That's bad math, is it? No, that is 38. They only have 6 wins at home so far. 6 of their 15 wins have come at home. Now, I do think there was some strategery right now from Philly. I think they saw they were playing OKC. They didn't think Embiid was ready. I kind of think Embiid plays tonight. And they were like, you know what? We don't want Paul George and Maxey playing on back-to-backs. Let's save them for the nationally televised game instead of having Paul George, Maxey play against an OKC team that's probably going to beat them anyways on NBA League Pass. And they're like, let's just have them ready to go for nationally televised game. Maybe that's what happened. But still, man, Philly is just in such a bad spot right now. And if we go look to the Eastern Conference standings of where they're at, so they have 15 wins. They have 3 less wins than the Chicago Bulls, which, to my Chicago fans out there, let's pour one out. Let's take a sip. Chicago, man, they just refuse. So, like, for those that don't know, I think they have to finish. I believe they have to have the 6th is it the 6th worst record, or worse than that, to guarantee they retain their pick. Otherwise, they lose their pick. Similarly, as Matty Harrison let us know in the chat, Philly's pick is protected 1 through 6 this year. So they would also have to finish in the bottom 6. But Chicago still has 3 more wins than the Sixers. They have 4 more wins than the Nets. We look at the Western Conference. They have, what is that, 1 more? No, excuse me. 4 more wins than the Blazers, 8 more wins than the, wait, that's bad math. They have 5 more wins than the Blazers, 8 more wins than the Jazz, 9 more wins than the Pelicans, who are finally starting to get healthy. But the Sixers, man, like, will they or won't they? Are they going to trade their pieces here? There was another piece in The Athletic kind of talking about the situation that Chicago's in right now. Zach LaVine having maybe his best shooting season of his career. I think he's averaging 24, 5, and 5 right now. Vooch has been playing great too. And they've got a lot of like nice pieces. They have a lot of 5th guys, right? Giddey actually has been playing great. Shout out Taco Trey Kirby from No Dunks. He shared a fun stat this morning, or he quote tweeted the stat. So maybe I should give them the correct love here. I'm going to pull this up right now. Sorry, give me a second. All right, this comes from KC Johnson, KCJ Hoop on X.com. Good stat from the Bulls PR. Josh Giddey is one of 4 players with at least 400 points, 250 rebounds, and 225 assists this season. The other players that have done that so far, Nikola Jokic, LeBron James, and Domas Sabonis. That's crazy. That's crazy company right there. Yeah, it is top 10 protected, but they have to, like, the lottery won't bang them up so bad if they have a bottom 6 record. That's how, like, the lottery works. So it doesn't mean it guarantees them a top 6 pick, but it will guarantee them a top 10 pick, I believe. That's how that works. But anyway, Chicago needs to figure out what they're doing and how to move off some of these pieces. But again, I don't even know what it's going to look like, because they might be looking around the landscape of the league, and like if Vooch isn't getting enough back in a deal, or if Levine's not getting enough back in a deal, then who knows? Levine, however, is like rumored to be in talks, or the Denver Nuggets might be interested in Levine. Although you look at what Denver's doing right now, I would just chill. I'd pump the brakes a little bit. But back to the Sixers here, who now find themselves 2 games out of the freaking play-in game. And we did this the other day, but just a reminder, the Sixers' upcoming schedule here, they've got, so the Knicks tonight on a back end of a back-to-back, although no one played for Philly. Knicks, Pacers, Bucks, Nuggets, Cleveland, Chicago. Let's do the next 10. All right. So they're 15-23 right now. Knicks, I'm going to say it's an L. I'm going to say it's an L for New York. Pacers, let's give them a win against the Pacers, even though the Pacers have been playing great. So that gets them to 16 wins. The Bucks, L. Denver, L. Cleveland, L. Chicago, I'll give them another win. That's 2 wins. Lakers, L. Kings, L. Denver, L. Boston, L. Maybe they get another win in Dallas. We're going to be close to the All-Star break, and they're going to have less than 20 wins in the season. Like, they're screwed. I mean, their best bet, the Sixers' best bet right now, and I can't believe we're saying this deep into the season, is the teams ahead of them deciding they don't want to be in the playoffs. Like Miami, which we're going to talk about Jimmy in a second. They're 2 games over 500. They've won too many games. It's not happening. The Pistons clearly are too good this year. Shout out Detroit, 21-19, 8-2 in their last 10. Shout out our guy Jay Catch. Not only did he go see Cade Cook in Brooklyn, he then went to the Garden, did it there, and that was a crazy game. Let's talk about that in a second here. But the Pistons are just a better freaking team right now than the Sixers. The Hawks, 20-19. And then so the Bulls, they like legit need the Bulls to decide they don't want to win games. Sixers are in trouble. They are in trouble. Let's do some Jimmy updates here. So Jimmy is supposedly back from suspension. I think on Thursday his suspension is lifted, and he would be eligible to play basketball Friday against the Denver Nuggets. And listen, it's too early to victory lap because the trade deadline's a month away. But I don't think he's getting moved, and I'm feeling more and more confident about that each and every day. The Phoenix Suns really are. I forgot this tidbit, by the way, which I know Weisberg's about to wake up and be like, but I remember, because Weisberg knows all. Bartelstein, I think that's the name, the agent for Bradley Beal. It's like his son-in-law or son, some relative is like one of the chief operatives for the Phoenix Suns, which I totally forgot about that. But all things point right now to no one has talked to Bradley Beal about potentially lifting his trade clause, his no trade clause. And that's the only way Jimmy can get to Phoenix is if Bradley Beal is like, I would leave. I'll leave to go to Miami. And that seems to be the only spot. That seems to be the only spot that like would take in Jimmy, that Jimmy wants to go. It's rumored that he's no longer interested in the idea of going to Milwaukee after saying he would go to any team in the world. Golden State, clearly. Now, one other thing we should say about Golden State and Steph, Draymond, and Steve Kerr all talking to the media, they might be doing their Phil Hellmuth right now. Their Phil Ivey, their Mike Mattisau, right? They might just be playing a little poker and just trying to poker face. Lady Gaga. Maybe that's what they're doing to try to like say, oh, we're not interested. You're going to make the offer a little bit better if you're going to get to Jimmy Butler. But I don't think so. I don't think they're going to do it, which just means that Jimmy is going to go back to Miami. And for those that don't know, Jimmy Butler, by getting suspended 7 games, lost like $2.3 million, I think it is, just in game checks for getting suspended for conduct detrimental to the team. So he's gonna come back and play basketball. But what I think is very interesting is, does Jimmy play? Like, does Spoelstra be like, nah, dude, we're good, man? Was Pat Riley tell Spo, we're not playing him. We're not playing him. Like, if this is going to be his attitude, can they try? Because what we saw those 2 games prior to the suspension was he was just mailing it in the fourth quarter. So I don't know. I don't even know if Jimmy Butler is going to play for Miami. Also, real quick on Miami, let's go look at they lost to the Clippers the other night, but you know what we are going to do? So Bam Adebayo sits this game, and they bring out the corpse of Kevin Love to start for the Miami Heat. Look at this starting five: Kevin Love, Haywood Highsmith, Tyler Hero, Terry Rozier, Jaime Jaquez Jr. But you know what? Yes, did it take till January 13th or whatever night that game was to celebrate? Yes, it did. Khalil Ware played 33 minutes, 7 for 11 from the field, 3 for 3 from 3, 19 points, 13 boards, a block and a steal. It is Khalil Ware season. Get ready. Shut Bam down. Miami should tank. But anyways, I think Jimmy's going to stay with Miami, and then Miami's in the weirdest spot of all time, because Jimmy's going to, who's not picking up their $50 million contract? It's a player option. So Jimmy can either be like, I'll test free agency. I don't want this $50 million, where there's no way he gets $50 million a year anyways. Now, maybe he can be like, well, I'm going to get 65, 70 over 3 years from a team. Maybe. But I don't know, man. I think this stuff adds up. Like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me a third time, shame on you again. I feel I'm stealing that joke, right? Actually, I think one of my most liked tweets of all time, and this will tell you where I was at emotionally like 12 years ago. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Anything more than that, you're probably really hot. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Comedy, baby. Comedy, baby. Bill Burr, Anthony Jeselnik. Watch out. Watch out. Uncomfortable, problematic tweets from 2020 or 2014 coming to get you. Actually, let's do a mental health check. Let's do a mental health check, and we'll make it sexual. We'll make it sexual. We gotta wait. Where is it? There it is. We can't go down this road. We can't talk about like how you need to have had sex in order to have responsibility. I just think it changes you, you know? I think it changes you. Anyways, there we go. There we go. That's the Jimmy update. I think he stays with Miami unless he just says F this, get me out of here. But and he doesn't play basketball. But I don't think he's going to get traded, because I think Pat Riley and the Miami Heat organization is looking at the offers that are potentially on the table for Jimmy, and he's like, we're not gonna trade him for like a second, in some G Leaguer. We're not gonna or some bad contract to make the math work. They're not gonna do it. And I don't think the teams that he wants to go to are going to do it. I know Milwaukee. I mean, maybe Milwaukee does something and tries to make it work. I just don't see it happening. I think he's just going to be there, and I think it's going to be weird, and it's going to be uncomfortable. Shout out the Clippers, though. Both LA well, no, the Lakers didn't, I don't think. I can't remember if they won that game. Let's actually bounce around the league now. Let's bounce around the league. Let's see some of the games we missed over the last couple of days here as we update the taskbar over there. Yeah, shout out the Clippers. Let's do this game quickly. Again, no Bam Adebayo. Clippers out there, though, win this one 109-98. Clippers, they just keep winning games, man. 21-17. Tyler Hero, our guy, 32-11-7 in this one. Him and Khalil Ware, only guys we need to talk about. But Kawhi Leonard's minutes slowly creeping up for you fantasy freaks out there. Played 21 minutes in this game. Those are his most minutes so far. I think we're still a ways away from him playing 30 minutes or back-to-back or something like that. But something to monitor. Look at Zubac, man. Big Z with a big beef. 21 points, 20 boards in this one. Had 2 blocks. James Harden, 26-11 with 5 boards as well. And then Norman, get him to the All-Star game. Powell had 29 points and 6 boards in this one. Good win for the Clips. Let's keep bouncing around on that night. Anything else that we need to Anthony Edwards went nuts for Minnesota. I don't think we need to talk about this win too much. Regular season Randall at 20-10, but Ant-Man 41-7-6. That was a fun one. Houston and Memphis. I am so desperate for a second round playoff series for the Houston Rockets. No, not yet, Manicato, but it's on the we're talking. We're in talks. Oh, Boston base. P stored in balls. All right, there we go. Thank you, Boston base. I will say it out. You send money, I'll say it. Like Ron Burgundy, but just with money. 120-118. So Houston and Memphis just continue to play great games. And guys, you know what? Amen Thompson is awesome. He is awesome. And I was thinking about this a little bit more. I was talking about it in our text thread with the 89 Cavs. What's so nuts about Amen Thompson is like if Fred VanVleet misses a game, Amen Thompson gets into the starting lineup. If Jalen Green misses a game, Amen Thompson into the starting lineup. Jabari Smith breaks his hand, Amen Thompson into the starting lineup. Dylan Brooks, Amen Thompson. Şengün, it's probably Amen Thompson. 1 through 5. The guy plays 1 through 5 for this team, and he just defends the hell out of the ball. And he's also he's like playing too good. DJ Loco says, does Dylan Brooks go back to the bench when Jabari comes back? Honestly, Jabari might be on the bench. I could see it being Jabari just because Ime likes the way that Dylan Brooks defends. Although I did see a couple of clips of him just cooking him a little bit. But Ime cooking Dylan. But this is like the second or third time where Amen Thompson has had a double-double of like somewhere between 18 and 22 points and somewhere between 12 and 15 boards. He had 5 blocks in this game, 2 steals as well. And he's shooting like just enough threes. Like he's not a 3-point threat, but you do have to close out on him. So if he's going 1 for 3, 2 for 4, 2 for 5, whatever, you will take that every single time. Jalen Green also, here is some crazy numbers for Jalen Green, because in this game, he had 42 points, 4 dimes, and 3 boards, right? Again, this is from The Athletic, Kelly Eco. Since the calendar flipped to 2025, right? So just in the month of January, Green is averaging a team high 30 points, 4.5 boards, and 2 assists per game, shooting 45% from 3 and 92% from the free throw line. And his usage has jumped to 28.7%, placing him in the 86th percentile according to Cleaning the Glass. And now we've seen Jalen Green go on heaters before, right? We saw it last season after Şengün went down. But what's different this time is it doesn't feel like all or nothing from Jalen Green, right? I think Jalen Green in previous iterations of his game is if he wasn't cooking from the field, and I think he even commented on this in the article, he would just kind of disappear, would float. I think he used the word float. Wasn't really now he's not a lockdown defender by any means, but he's not as bad as he was before, right? Like he's trying, the effort is there. Same thing with Şengün, man. Şengün, again, not a defensive juggernaut, but he's not the sieve that he was a couple years ago. And I think that kind of defensive tenacity is contagious, right? You see Dylan Brooks, Amen Thompson, Fred VanVleet, both like giving it all. Atari Eason, when he's healthy, like really giving it a go. And I think you just are like, well, you can't be the guy that doesn't do it. And if you see what happened to Reed Shepherd, you don't play defense, you go to the G League, right? You go to the G League. So I just think it's kind of have to be, it's contagious. DJ Local, again, boots on the ground, says you don't have to make plays, shots for Amen. Jalen Green didn't go off because Şengün got hurt, but because Amen played more with him. I like this take too. And I think like as Amen plays more, like I've been very impressed. I've been watching a lot of Houston games. I think their ceiling is higher than what I thought it was, similar to Cleveland, although Cleveland is playing a better brand of basketball right now. But you know how like when these runs first start happening, where you're like, oh, this is regular season shit, they're going to get exposed in the playoffs. I actually don't think so. I think this defense is I'm not saying they're going to get to the Western Conference Finals, but they're not going to be pushovers in these playoffs. And I just pray that we get a Houston-Memphis playoff series, because you remember those Memphis Golden State, whoop that trick, right? Remember all those playoff series? This has the same level of aggressive nature between the two teams. Not like that they're going to fight, but it's just like that a 7-game series between these teams would be nuts. Memphis too, like in this loss, this was a great game. Came down to the end. Ja Morant with some brutal turnovers down the stretch, finished with 29 points in 37 minutes, 29-4, but had 7 turnovers with 2 of them coming late. Triple J, kind of quiet, 17. Desmond Bane, who was terrible in the first half, was sick in the second half. He ended up going 4 for 5 from 3. He had 25 in this game. I just think these are 2 fun teams. The Rockets moved to 26-12. Grizzlies are 25-15. I'm excited for it. I need more of it. I mentioned the Clippers won that game. Lakers did not really show out. Spurs get back to 500, winning that game 126-102. Wemby again, man, just 23-8-5, 3 steals, 2 blocks. He's great. Devin Vassell, we got some ceiling action from Vassell. He had 23-6-4. Stephon Castle, 23-4. Spurs continue to be feisty. Lakers, they got 30 from AD, but if you don't get like 25 from LeBron, it's probably not getting done, right? AD had 30 and 13, LeBron just 18 and 8. Reeves too, man. I think the Lakers go as Reeves go. I think if Reeves is going to get you to 20 points, or like not even 20 points, but like 15 and 10, maybe you get a shot. DJP going back to the Grizzlies says, I think the Grizzlies need to make a move. They have a lot of guys. I do think they could consolidate, but they're also a pretty smart organization where I don't think they're just going to fire for the sake of firing. But yeah, I'm with you. They do have too many guys, too many dudes. All right, let's go to last night's action. Let's bounce around a little bit. So Cleveland gets revenge against the Pacers after dropping a game. They moved to 34-5. No Halliburton in this game. He a little bit nervous here. Halliburton with the hamstring injury. That's concerning, right? This is I think No Dunks pointed this out around the same time last year is when the Hallie injury happened. The Pacers gave a good fight. Nembhard looked like he was going to break the fantasy slate last night after nuts first quarter, but finished the game with 10-9. Siakam gave him 23-7. Benny gave him 19-4. But on the Cleveland side, we don't normally get Donovan Mitchell ceiling performances, it feels like. Anyways, from a fantasy perspective, he did it last night. He had 35 points in this game on 12 for 23 shooting, 9 boards in this one. Garland gave him 24-7. Mobley with another double-double, 22-13. And J.A. with 16-9. Good win for them. I don't think we need to say too much about it, but let's do Phoenix Atlanta for a second because, again, Phoenix now goes back under 500. And this one, down the stretch, man, Trae Young was just a little bit too much. Hit him with the chili, ice cold, baby. Trae with no Jalen Johnson in this game, by the way. So they're down their second best player, and it didn't matter. 31 field goal attempts from Trae. Not a great shooting percentage, going 13 for 31. However, he got to the line, a team high 14 times. Going 11 for 14, finished the game with 43-5. Vit Krejci, shout out our live before lock call. He had 15-6. Oh, excuse me, 15-6-5 with 2 steals in this game. Dyson Daniels a little underwhelming. And Yeka Okongwu, holy shit, I didn't even see this line until right now. In 28 minutes, put up 22 boards and 22 points and 21 boards. So just, again, we saw Mark Williams do this to Phoenix the other night. Okongwu does it tonight or last night with 22 and 21. Phoenix just getting cooked by bigs, man. Plumlee played 25 minutes. He was +1 in his minutes, actually. But again, no Yusuf Nurkic, right? Unfollowed everybody on Instagram. Doesn't follow KD. Doesn't follow Booker anymore. Sounds like his time is done with the Phoenix Suns. And they just need help as a big. But again, because of the contract moves, right? They're paying KD over $50 million a year, Book over $50 million a year, and their bench player Bradley Beal over $50 million a year. They don't have the flexibility to make a move unless Bradley Beal goes out there and says, "I'll do it. I'll leave." And again, there was another team. We're crediting them so much about like how they like made so many sick moves in the offseason. And like, yeah, sure, man. Tyus Jones was a nice vet minimum pickup. Absolutely. But, man, they're relying a ton on the rookie Ryan Dunn, who has been playing good basketball. But I'm sorry, it's 2025. Plumdog Millionaire shouldn't be playing 25 minutes. Phoenix is in trouble, man. I don't see like Phoenix and Golden State kind of doing Spider-Man meme, right? Spider-Man meme. Ooh, J-Mag in the chat. Let's go, Jared. This is good. Does he follow Katie's burner? Son should pursue Ayton. He'd think he'd suit his son's uniform. Yeah, I mean, that's the irony of it. Although, man, DeAndre Ayton disappearing act last night was good for my Klingon bags, but good Lord. But anyways, Phoenix in some trouble. Let Zion back again. Look, dude, Zion's numbers were nuts, man. So he entering the fourth quarter, he had only played 15 minutes last night against the Bulls. He ended up with 24 minutes, but heading into the fourth, I believe his line was 15 points, 9 boards, and 7 dimes. I think that's what it was, or 9 dimes and 7 boards, one or the other. Almost had a triple-double in 15 minutes. Finished this game with 21 points, 9 dimes, 7 boards, and a block. Big night from Trey Murphy III. 32.6 boards, 4 dimes, 3 steals, and a block. Trey Murphy, listen, I'm going to say it. I think Trey Murphy is the second best player on the Pelicans. I guess when Ingram's back, maybe you would say him. But Trey Murphy's awesome, man. He defends at a high level, can fill it up. I think he's more important than DeJounte Murray right now. And the Pels are such a weird team, man. I mean, they're still in single-digit wins, right? What are they? 9-32 right now. So that ship has sailed of them doing anything in the postseason. And now you just kind of wonder, like, what moves are the Pelicans going to make? Do they cut bait with Zion? And the hardest thing about this, man, is when Zion is good, when he's on the floor, when he's healthy, he's just so dominant. One of the most dominant offensive scorers out there. But, man, what do they do? CJ only had 8 in this game. I mean, this came in a win. But I don't know what they're going to do. On the Bulls side of things, like, again, fantasy goodness, but real basketball badness. Bucci Mane, 22-15 in this one. Kobe, 22-4. Giddey hit him with 7 points, but 13 boards and 12 dimes. Then Zach LaVine, 25-7-5. Again, Chicago plays tonight, too. I forget who they play. Atlanta, maybe? There's going to be like 400 points in this game. Light the beam. The Kings' win streak finally came to an end last night. They're now 20-20. Bucks get a win, 130-115. Giannis went crazy. Giannis Antetokounmpo with 33 points, 13 boards, 13 dimes, and 11 boards. I think that's back-to-back triple-doubles for the Greek Freak. Dame Time gave him 24-7. And then we had a Brolo sighting, 21-5 right there. Who is the best player? Zion is the best player. I know we like to make fun of Zion, and I get it. It makes sense that we do because he doesn't play basketball. He is definitely the best player. Oh, that sucks. 3 points shy of the triple-double. I know, that sucks. Yeah, once Kobe White came back, I was like, this is good for rebounds and assists. This is bad for points. But anyways, Milwaukee now 21-17. Got a weird Sabonis game. Like, the end line will look okay. He had, 16, 10, and 9. So it's like almost a triple-double, but yeah, DeRozan had 28-6, Fox had 20-11, got 18-4 from Keon, but I mean, I had nothing to write home about. I just good win for the Bucks, who had illuminating comments, by the way, from Giannis after their loss to the Knicks over the weekend, where they got smoked. And I missed this. I just saw this morning. But Giannis after the game basically pointed out that I think they are 0-8 against the top 3 teams in the East, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the New York Knicks, and the Boston Celtics, which, if that was not a flare gun going off being like, we're going to make a trade, I imagine the Bucks are going to be doing that soon. Strictly said not CJ. No, CJ is not their best player. Oh, there we go. What's up, Matic Auto? Thank you. That was kind. But anyways, good win for the Bucks. Let's Denver. Kyrie Irving came back, and I was not one of those fish that was drafting Kyrie. That's what I'll tell you. Kyrie, 30-minute restriction here. Had 11 points, 4 boards, saved his stat line with 4 steals. But this is starting 5 of PJ, Najee, Derek Lively, who got hurt, only played 4 minutes. So Daniel Gafford, and then Kyrie and Clay. So there you go. That was the starting 5. But the story was Jamal Murray. Jokic had a triple-double, but it was a quiet one, 10, 14, and 10. Still impressive. Jamal Murray, 18 for 26 from the field, 5 for 9 from 3, 45 points, 6 dimes in this game. They actually left him in a little bit longer than they normally do, and I think because he was cooking, they were like, can we get Jamal to 50? But this is just a reminder, man. If Jamal Murray, not even that, if Jamal Murray is a 25-point scorer, Denver has a shot at coming out of the West. Now, they are not as good as OKC. They are probably not as good as Houston. But in these playoff series, if you have Nikola Jokic, the best player in the world, just cooking up everybody, if Aaron Gordon, who again is not fully healthy, I can't even remember if I think he played limited minutes, came off the bench 18 minutes in this game. I mean, they are going to be a tough team. Yeah, you're right. Dwight Powell did get significant minutes, played 14, only 19 for Gafford. Interesting. Maybe because that was his first game back from injury. I don't know. But Denver, again, it doesn't feel like they're having a good season, right? We're like, oh, Jamal's kind of bad right now. They lost some weird games early. They're 24-15, 9 games over 500. They're doing well. And then the last game of the night, we'll just quickly, because who cares? 132-114, Brooklyn over Portland. The reason we're going to talk about this game, Scoot Henderson. So Denny Avdia gets ruled out. Now, I had packed my bags, my Anthony Simons bags, my Shaedon Sharp bags, my DeAndre Ayton, because no Denny, no Jeremy Grant. I thought this game was going to go over its total. Thought it was going to be fun. Anthony Simons, 3 for 12 from the field. You're killing me, Smalls. DeAndre Ayton, 1 for 4. Took 4 freaking shot attempts in 24 minutes. Scoot Henderson, 13 for 18 from the field. 5 for 8 from the line. 8 for 10 from 3. 39 points and 6 dimes. The fuck? What? So good Scoot performance. Honestly, this is ideal for Portland. Lose this game, get closer to the tanking, getting the number 1 pick. You got from your young guys, freaking Scoot and Shaedon Sharp combined for, 60 points. Hell yeah. Klingin off the bench had 4 points, 14 boards, 2 steals and a block. On Brooklyn, they got D'Lo back. They also got Cam Johnson back. Both of them played. D'Lo 21 minutes, Cam Johnson 27. He filled it up with 24 points. Clowney with 20 and 5. Keon Johnson with 20. Keep an eye on Clowney, by the way. If they're going to start resting Claxton, Day'Ron Sharp, and Clowney get a little bit of a boost there. So there you go. That gets us caught up. Tonight, we get a full slate of games tonight. Marquee matchups, New York and Philly. From a fantasy perspective, Atlanta and Chicago will be fun. Orlando, Milwaukee, not a fantasy fun game, but a gross fun game. Dallas and New Orleans, Godspeed. Ja Morant trying to dunk on Wemby. Denver and Houston. Denver on a back-to-back. Houston not so much, but that'll be a fun one. Charlotte, Utah, yay. The other ESPN game, Golden State and Minnesota. Heat culture against the Lakers. Brooklyn against the Clippers. So that's the action we got tonight. Quickly, we'll go pop around here. Let me change the backdrop. Let's go pop around. I'm going to just poke on SORARE. Haven't really checked my lineups yet. And then what we can do is build a pick 'em, and then we'll get out of here, right? Just a reminder, today, this afternoon at 1 p.m., we're going to do dog bowl hunting on Underdog, which I'll explain here once we get over to the Underdog streets. Let's see how we're doing on SORARE, though. I don't think I have very good lineups this week, but we'll see. Oh, this one says it's in 53rd. Let's see what that is. All right, let's blow this up a little bit. So my common lineup here, Jaden Hardy Party didn't get it done. Let's see the limited. Yeah, Jokic, it's hard to tell. Jokic with the 52, you assume that gets higher. Harden with 56, Amon Thompson with 59 is nice. You need Trace Jackson Davis and Cole Anthony to cook. Let's look at the rares, though. So Donovan Clingan getting to 29, I will take that. Paul George didn't play last night, so I need Paul George to play tonight. I need Goon to get up to the 55 range, and then Jokic to get up to the 70 range. And then this has a shot. 33 points out of the reward with Jokic to gain, Şengün to gain, and Paul George starting with 0. But this one right now in 53rd place, we got 67 from AD, 65 from KD. Buddy gave me 32. We need PJ to cook a little bit more, and Vassell with 51. We'll take that. And then this one, not too bad. Din Shitty with 18, Simmons with 33. This is actually winning a 3-star right now without Paul George because we got a 50 spot from Khalil Ware. So there we go. So that's what we're cooking with over on the SORARE streets. Any of you guys have good sweats going on right now? Do you like anyone for daily hoops today? Plus 50 for double-double. Minus 50. Wow. Yeah, Vooch for sure. I'm not saying Bam. Bam has been dog shit, man. Khalil Ware, by the way. Khalil Ware, if he doesn't play, if Bam doesn't play, would be a fun double-double contribution. Let me look at some of my ranks here on Underdog, find some double-doubles. Wemby, I think Wemby is a pretty good shot. Anthony Davis, you're not worried about him getting a triple-double, right? Anthony Davis is a fun one. I think Tatum, Towns, if he goes, Trae Young. Let me find some cheaper ones here. Vooch, yeah, was a good call. Zubac is a great call. We got Porzingis. We'll put Porzingis out there. Let's see. Anybody else? Josh Hart's got triple-double upside. So does Russ. Giddey is a fun one, although he does have triple-double. Let's find some more cheaper ones. Jakob Poeltl's a great shout. Julius Randle, Mark Williams. There you go. That's a bunch of names. A bunch of names of a bunch of guys. There you go. That's for your double. All right. Let's share. Let's go over to Underdog here. Yeah, Mark Williams. Yeah, there you go. Also, we're covering Celtics Raptors on playback tonight. There you go. It'll be an exciting game. Although the way the Celtics are playing, maybe it will be an exciting game. All right, let's. So I mentioned the Dog Bowl, right? Here we go. This is the $10 entry. First and second win $10K plus a trip to San Diego. I've done a handful of these so far. Here's some favorites where if Joel Embiid plays, we got some crazy builds here. So again, you're relying on Joel Embiid, so it's a little bit nervous, but look at this. Jokic, Embiid, Maxey, Walker, Kessler, which, by the way, Walker, Kessler, another double-double candidate. I want to show you guys something here. Let's actually look at the rankings. Look, here's who's available for the Jazz tonight. The Jazz are without Johnny Juzang, which doesn't sound like much, but he was playing like 25 minutes a game. Colin Sexton's out. John Collins is out. Lauri Markkanen is already ruled out. Jordan Clarkson is out. So Walker, Kessler, Ranger, get out there. Keontae George, if he goes, is going to be a great play. Also, Bryce Sensabaugh. It might be Bryce Sensabaugh time, baby. So anyway, some fun shouts for tomorrow. I mean, for tonight. Let's see. Do you guys have any pick'ems for tonight? Let me see if my guy Metler has put any out there that we should be taking a peek at here. He's got Draymond Green over 6.5 assists. He is questionable today. So let's see. He's got Mikal Bridges. All right, he's a big dime guy today. All right, let's do this. He likes Mikal Bridges over in his assists. This should have a bunch of fantasy points, I think. 2.5. He also liked Paolo. Oh, oops, not Mikal Paolo. That's a fun name, though. Paolo with, I think it was 6, over 3.5. Oh, he bumped this way up. What was his line? Was it 5? I think it was 5. Oh, let's get a little spice going. Let's get a little spice going here. Can we move the assist line? Oh, let's do it. Let's get to 6, 1.95. All right, let's get one more pick. What does the chat have? I need one from the chat. I need the common man to lock in. Who do you got for me? We could do the Draymond Green. We can just do all dimes. You want to just do all dimes in this one? And then if Draymond doesn't play, it's not the end of the world as we know it. He's got 4.5. That gets us to 10x on a 3-man. Unless the chat has something, we might do. Oh, you like Tatum assists. All right, let's leave Draymond in there with 4.5 because we can't move the 4.5 one. Maybe because he's questionable. What's Tatum's line? 4.5? Yeah, let's do it. This is a 17xer, man. This is actually kind of fire. Let's do this. All right, I'm plugging this in onto my phone because, of course, it's not going to let me do it. So here we go. I'm going to read them off as we do it. So we're going to take the higher on Tatum dimes at 4.5. We're going to take the higher on Draymond Green's dimes at 4.5. We're going to take the Paolo. We're going to get to 5.5. What did he say? He liked him for 5 in it. He liked him for 5+. That's tough, man. That's tough. We're going to do it, though. Let's live. Let's live a little. That's 1.95x. That one's so fun. And then Bridges, 2.5 is fun, too. Bridges 2.5 is fun. So we'll do that because we also get a little bit of juice on that. So 17x. So we're going to do it. We're going to put 17 to win 289 on that one. 17 to win 289. That's fun. That's fun. Oh, I missed the Jaylen Brown one. Sorry. But there you go. You do JB as well. There we go. We did it, baby. 48 minutes of fury. 48 minutes of fury. If you're first time hanging out here, do me a favor, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. We do the NBA bit every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. So the next one is at 9. And then guess what? Elite Fantasy Hoops. That Elite Fantasy Hoops channel is cooking over there. We've got a show today at 1 o'clock where we're going to be drafting, like I mentioned, to go to San Diego. We're going to do our best over there. So I'm going to drop a link to that into the chat so you can go get that queued up so you're ready to go. And then, I don't know, maybe tomorrow we'll have some update on what should we, hey, let's do this. This is what we'll close with. So, tonight's game, I got a game tonight at 8 o'clock. We scored, 12 points in the last game. I think we're averaging 9 a game right now. Should the line for tonight for Mike Zakarian's points be at 9.5? What do we think? Should we up it? It was not. I think we set it at 8.5 or 9.5 last time. Should we make it 10.5? What's the line? We do have a Gray League match. We do. What's the line for Zakarian tonight? I feel like you're going for unders. How dare you, dude? How dare you? I feel like it's now that we're getting into the flow of it a little bit more, right? First game was a little, you're nervous. You're meeting people for the first time. Hadn't done anything athletically in a while. Hadn't played an organized basketball game since Dream Shaker was around. You know what I'm saying? So I think we're going to say 10.5. I think we'll up it a point. See what happens. But you know what? You get a spicy 3x if we get over 15 points. 3x over 15. I think I'm going to hit 4 threes tonight. I think 4 are going down. I'm feeling it. Although it is cold. It's going to take me a while to warm up. Over 5 turnovers. I would do team turnovers. I would do over 35 team turnovers. That's probably a more likely bet. But appreciate everybody hanging out today. Hope you guys had a fun one. We'll be back again later this afternoon. Otherwise, I'll see you on Friday for a full day of basketball action. Stay warm out there. Stay safe out there. We out, skis.